So we received from an anonymous person on Smex Ed Magazine's Ask the Writers page. And if you guys have never been on that page and you have a question for me or any of the writers of Smex Ed Magazine, for the love of God, please go on that page. You can access it right through Smex Ed's website, which is linked in the show notes, but it's also www.smexed.com. And this person asked for a safe space in order to listen to audio porn. And they said that they have just heard about it and they're looking for some safe sites for being able to download and listen it. And it made me think about how much I used to talk about audio porn when I first came out into the quote unquote sex education scene. I like one of the main things that I spoke about was seduction and audio porn, because the audio porn industry has substantially increased over the last few years, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and the market is dominated by women. Women are obsessed with audio porn. And so I wanted to dedicate this episode to talk about why it is so appealing to women. Like, what is it about audio porn that makes women tick? And what exactly is audio porn, just in case you haven't heard of it, because it's very different than traditional pornography in the sense of like visual pornography. And I want to talk about just safe places to listen about it. And like I said, I was interviewed last year by Metro UK magazine about audio porn and why I felt as a sex educator it was becoming such a massive industry. And the main reason that I believe it is because it taps into women's imaginations. So when we talk about men and women or people in general, I'm going to use very like generic terms here, and so just know that ahead of time. If this doesn't apply to you, you know the rules, like take it or leave it. But when we're speaking in generalities, women tend to be more sensual creatures. We tend to be attracted and find like in someone because of our emotions, because of our intuition, because we feel this pull towards someone. When we are having sex, we tend to sink into the feeling of it and tend to get distracted by visual aspects. When we talk about men, it tends to be the opposite, right? Men tend to be more visual creatures, and the porn industry in general is definitely built for men. Because if you watch porn, especially porn for who have been directed by men, the storyline is non-existent. There's no plot to it. It's terrible acting, and it's 95% penetration shots. And it's like horribly overacted. And so that is definitely men appealing to the male gaze, because the male gaze is more visually and graphic focused. Well, the female gaze is actually the opposite. It is more about poetry. It's more about seduction. It's more about the slow burn. And so when we look at the porn industry in general, a lot of women are turned off by watching physical porn. Now, the porn industry is definitely getting a little bit better, where we are getting more porn directed by women for women that are ethically sourced porn sites. For example, Bellessa is a great one. If you were looking for porn that is for women by women, there is also Erica Lust. She is a female director who does porn with plot lines and storylines. And so you fall in love with the characters. So you fall in love with when they have sex a little bit more than you do just two random strangers fucking, to be honest. But typically, when we're talking about porn, it's just too much visually for women sometimes. And this is because women have this sense of imagination that is what is the word? It's just unmatched, right? This is why you see a lot of women participate in either audio porn or reading porn, because it allows themselves to become absorbed in their own imagination. It allows it to be so much more than sex. It allows connection, intimacy, and just like pleasure personified. It gets to be in that moment whoever the fuck they want, right? Even if they're reading a book and they're reading two characters having sex, they are being able to visualize those characters, but they see a piece of themselves in those characters. They allow those characters to create this fantasy that probably has been deeply rooted inside of them that they are too afraid to explore in real life. So audio porn, it allows them to create a fantasy that is tailored to exactly what they want, what they desire, and who they desire. When mainstream porn is just about basically two characters fucking with no emotional connection, just having sex. And with women, it needs to be so much more than that. There needs to be connection and intimacy and emotion and just love. There needs to be a level of love there. And so audio porn allows them to escape their own world and close their eyes. And whoever they're listening to can be the voice of the person that they desire the most, right? It can, and like that person that they desire may not even be an actual person. It gets to be like the stranger that they made eye contact with at the train. It gets to be the long lost love that they miss and they want to, in a way, reconnect with them, or the one that got away. Or it could be the fact that they feel disconnected from their partner in the minute. And so they're sexually fantasizing about their partner. It is whoever they want it to be in that moment. An audio porn industry realized that women want to escape into their own heads to create this imaginary world where they just get to be with who they want to be with. And they capitalized off of it. And it got to be in that moment that one person who was able to get them to climax. And it's unbelievably amazing how much audio porn industry is taking off. And when we're talking about audio porn, what is audio porn? So audio porn is when people literally speak like I am. It's a podcast. It's a porn podcast, basically. It's like the most generic way of saying it. So it's listening to someone talk about a sexual fantasy. So it is this person in the moment. If you're listening to audio porn, say you're listening to me. I'm sitting here and I'm having a conversation with you, or I'm talking to you about what I want to do to you, how I want to touch you, where I want to taste you, where, like, what I want you to do to me. Some audio porn is definitely like that style where you're talking to the person listening. Other audio porn is quite literally reading stories about two people meeting and having sex. Like I remember I listened to one audio porn what is it, story one time where it was two people who were camping in the woods. And literally it was a story of both of them kind of talking to each other and them having sex. And obviously you don't see them having sex, but you hear the moans, you hear the noises, you hear the sounds. It's all very appealing, right, to the senses when you take the visual aspect out of it. And then it'll, like I said, it allows women to escape, to be in this space with someone that they desire the most. So audio porn can also be your partner sending you audio texts of them saying dirty things to you, or them masturbating while talking dirty to you, right? These are all different forms of audio porn. So if you're looking to explore audio porn, it really is all about figuring out what you want and what you desire. If it's something that you want your partner to start exploring in, you could say to them, listen, like the next time that you are pleasuring yourself, can you record the sounds and record you talking to me through it? Like, can you send me voice notes? And it's like, it's more about in that moment, it's so different from like sending a masturbation video, right? Because the masturbation video, once again, you're seeing it happen, which some people are very into, some people aren't. With women, it's more about you telling them what you want to do to them and what their desires matter, basically, that makes it so fucking appealing to women. If you listen to a lot of audio porn, yeah, it talks about sex, but a lot of it just empowers women. It makes women feel good. The characters in it talk to you like you are the most beautiful, sexy, sensual person on this planet. You feel very seen by audio porn because it is a person just making you feel good. And they're making you feel good by just using their words and saying, like, you look beautiful, or I want to touch you here, or oh my God, you make me so horny, or something like that. Like, and it doesn't have to be super eloquent, but audio porn appeals to women because it makes women feel seen and valued and heard. And it makes them feel like their pleasure is a priority during it. And so with using audio porn with self-pleasure and masturbation, it can sometimes, but basically it gets women out of their head. Because during masturbation and during sex itself, sometimes we get into our head, we get disruptive thoughts. And so this tends to happen when women are masturbating and all of a sudden they kind of lose the orgasm, right? Like they're there, and then they kind of loses it. Typically it's because we get into our heads. And the second we get into our heads, we sink out of the feeling of what we're experiencing, which then causes us to, once again, get in our heads even further. So with audio porn, when you have two earbuds in your ear and you're listening to someone talk, it literally shuts your fucking brain off. It is the one way that your entire brain just stops. And you get to focus in on that one thing. It's like, I call it squirrel brain, right? Like women are at a constant level of squirrel brain because we have 7,432 things going on at any given moment. And audio porn allows it to kind of be hyper focused on one single thing. And then they get to listen to that person talk about her pleasure and wanting to get her off and making her feel safe and making her feel like she's needed and she's desired in that moment and she's wanted in that moment, while all focusing all of her attention on just listening to that. Audio porn can sometimes help women climax a little bit longer, a little bit more intense, or in general, because it takes it out of their head, because their head is already focusing on the fantasy, and it kicks your imagination into it, right? So your imagination, as you're listening to this person talk about how fucking sexy you are and how bad that they want you and how bad that they need you, your brain automatically is like, oh my God, I'm visualizing this scenario. Because with some audio porn, they will give you scenarios like, oh, we're in a library and blah, 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 blah. And so you get to imagine what that library looks like. You get to imagine what it looks like when that person runs their hand up your thigh or grabs your ass or kisses you sensually or slowly or passionately. You get to create all of that imagery in your head. And like, there are times, and I think that this is a big thing too, where when you read books, because women will also, like I said, read books in order to fill their audio porn needs or their porn needs, because there are a lot of spicy novels out there. That in general, this is why when we read books and then we see them translated into TV, we tend not to like the TV versions or the movie versions of the books, because we think, oh my God, in my head, it was so much better. Well, that's how women sometimes visualize porn, right? Or think about porn. Well, in my head, it was so much better. Now I'm watching it in front of me and I'm kind of like, not a super huge fan. And so audio porn is that escape that provides women a sense of safety in their selves and in that moment and in their bodies. And like, if we're even talking about visual porn, like visual porn can cause so much body shaming and self-doubt within women, because a lot of the porn, and this is not necessarily like OnlyFans really changed the game when it came to porn and like realistic body standards with porn, where it does showcase women of all shapes and sizes. But mainstream porn used to be like the same white woman at 120 pounds with these huge freaking boobs with like a huge ass and like just not your typical body type. for women. And so women grew up watching this type of porn, and those being the only like Jenna Jameson kind of style women. And all of a sudden they started having all of these really fucking negative body image issues and self-doubt issues, because if you don't look anything like that, and that's what's supposed to be sexy, it causes so much harm when it comes to women and their own bodies and not wanting to explore their bodies and showcase their bodies to other people. And like, it's audio porn gets to be women's little dirty secret. And I mean that as like we all have our little things, right? We have that reality TV show that we watch every week, and we don't tell anyone we watch it because it's our like dirty little secret. Audio porn gets to be that for women, because it gets to be this thing that they can listen to, and no one else knows what they're listening to. No one else gets to experience it. So they can literally go by themselves in a room and just listen to it. And if they have a shitty day and they want to escape, they can go in and just be with themselves, be in that moment, and listen to that porn and just get relief from everyday life, because everyday life can be so overwhelming. And there's no guilt or shame that should be associated with this in self-pleasure in general, but more specifically, like the need to escape and be able to just be with yourself and listen to audio porn. Like, it is fucking everything for women, and it's okay for it to be for you. And when we sit here and we look at audio porn, it is, and if gentlemen, you're listening to this and you want to know how to talk dirty to women, you should go download audio porn for women. Because when I speak about like dirty talk to the male gaze versus the female gaze, which I've done in the past, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Women are more of the sensual and the poetic, right? Men are more of like, I'm going to fucking stick my dick in your pussy type of people, because that's what they think that women want. It's not, they don't want the super graphic language. Some do, some don't. But if you're looking to up level your dirty talking, gentlemen, go to audio porn sites and download the apps and listen to the men talking to the women, and you will find out exactly what women want and desire as far as dirty talk, and as far as just sexual talk in general, how they want to be spoken to, the words that they want to be called. It's like, rather than I want to stick my dick in you, it's I want to feel inside of you, deep inside of you. It's like, it's instead of like, let me fuck you, it's baby, open up for me, let me in. I want to feel you. I want to feel all of you. It's like, it is just this more seductive and sensual way of speaking to women that women just literally come over. And these men in audio porn, or women, because there is audio porn for women by women, like, and it is good. It is good. It's just them providing what they need, like what the listener needs in the moment to get them turned on. And it allows them sometimes to get turned on in a way that they haven't been able to get turned on in life, and maybe for a while. And so audio porn is a huge industry that so many people should start exploring into. And like I said, and I don't even know if I got into this, I got into a tangent, but if you're looking for your partner to explore audio porn with them, start asking them to send you stuff, right? Rather than saying, hey, instead of dirty texting me, can you just text me a voice note of you saying things like, I want to feel you. I want to fuck you so bad right now. I can't wait to taste you. I can't wait to touch you, right? Ask them to send that. Ask them to send a video of them masturbating and them talking dirty to you. And if that's just something you're uncomfortable with, that's absolutely okay. Here are some safe places that you can go and listen to audio porn. Now, the two biggest apps that are out there right now are Quinn, it's Quinn, and it's Dipsy. And they're a little bit different. So Quinn is definitely a more, how do I want to say this? It is more of the audio porn that is focused at talking to the listener. So for example, I don't know if you guys know, is his name Jesse Williams off of Grey's Anatomy, did something for Quentin. Like, they have some high ass celebrities in there doing some of these audio porn for women, and it's amazing. So you can go in onto Quinn's website. It is a what is it? It's an app. And they also have a TikTok. That's actually how I found them. And the TikTok basically is them showcasing some of their what is it called? Some of their creators. There we go. So they have like, they showcase their creators on their TikTok. So they'll do 30 to 40-second clips of the creators talking as the audio and tell you exactly what creator is on there and what they released. So theirs is definitely more creator focused. So they get people who come on, they record their own audio. You can subscribe to like specific creators. Dipsea is a little different. Dipsea is something that it's an app that is more of the storytelling. So when I did Dipsea was the one that I told you, it was like, oh, these two people are camping and then all of a sudden they're having sex and you're listening to them have sex. So it's not as much as like you focus of them talking to you. It's more of like they're reading a story and you're listening to it. So if you're really into audiobooks, like Dipsea may be more of the one that you want to explore because it is more story-based focused, while Quinn is definitely more creator focused. Now, those are the two biggest sites that I think audio porn is amazing on. What you can also do is you can go to TikTok and you can look for audio porn on TikTok. It will probably be called audio porn, CORN, because you cannot say the fucking word porn on TikTok. They will slam you with a community guideline violation. So you can actually search it and there will be creators that come up that have their own individual Patreon accounts. These Patreon accounts are small subscription accounts that you pay for in order to listen to their content. And a lot of those creators as well are also on Dipsea. So it's like you can kind of go either way. If you were thinking of exploring audio porn and you're like, I'm not ready to download the app, so I need something that's like beginner focused, I want you to go to Apple Podcasts and I want you to download the podcast Dirty Diana. This was one of the first podcasts I started listening to when I was starting to explore with dirty porn, and it's voiced by Demi Moore. And so this is a story-focused audio porn series, and basically it is about Diana, who I think she is a therapist. I don't know. She's in some career, and basically she interviews people at night about their sexual fantasies and talks about them on a podcast. And there are a massive amount of celebrities that come in and actually voice the people who do sexual fantasies. But basically it's a little bit of storytelling mixed in with like, they start talking dirty and they talk about their sexual fantasies, which really get you turned on and really get you kind of listening and wanting to know what's going on. But it's also very plot driven. So there are plot twists and turns and obstacles and character development. So that's a really great beginners one. If you were like, okay, let me see if I like audio porn and I'm not ready to download these apps, but I want something free to kind of like, I don't know, put my feet in the pool per se, go to Dirty Diana. It's free. It's on Apple Podcasts. I'm sure they probably have it on Spotify as well. Go listen to that and then just see if you would like Quinn or Dipsea. So if you like Dirty Diana, Dipsea is probably going to be the first one that you want to explore with, since it is so storyteller, good Lord, storyteller focused. And Dipsea is going to be the one if you want to be spoken to, like, you dirty girl, I love you, like, come for me, baby. I want to feel you. I want to touch you. Let me help you. Boom. That is going to be Quinn. So that is basically the episode today. If you guys have any other questions regarding audio porn, I keep wanting to say corn because I'm so used to censoring myself. It's ridiculous. But if you have any other questions on it, feel free to DM us at Smex Ed Magazine or DM me personally. You can find Quinn Dipsea on TikTok as well. And Quinn is Quinn. Quinn, and Dipsea is Dipsea. And then there is Dirty Diana podcast. Go check those out. See which ones you like. Give us feedback if there is something specific that you were interested in or you heard. And the cool thing with like Dipsea too is, and I mean, both of the apps, is you can pick people towards like the specific voices you want. So if you want someone who's like a baritone with a British accent, that's what you can find there. It's crazy in the best way possible. But yeah, so I love you guys. I hope you have a great evening. Sorry, these podcast episodes keep coming out late. I'm just kind of rolling with it and trying to get them out to you. If you have any questions, message us. And if not, I will see you on the next episode.